Hi, you guys. I'm Phil Town from Real One Investing, and today I'm going to be reacting just to maybe the most famous investing scenes of all time, the most famous investing movie. I love this movie. It's The Wolf of Wall Street, and I'm going to give you my opinion on how accurate it is and what you can take away from some of these scenes as an investor. And this one I'm going through right now, this is going to be about penny stocks and how they're structured and how they get sold. So here we go. So, all right, you guys. So the first movie we're going to look at is maybe one of the most famous investing movies of all time, certainly in the last decade. And you all know what it is. It's The Wolf of Wall Street, and it stars Leonardo DiCaprio. And it is a fascinating deep dive into a sort of the dark side of the street for Wall Street. So here we go.
Hey, I'm looking for an investor center.
Is that you want to invest?
No. Investor Center. I'm looking for Investor Center.
Yeah, that's us. Hey. This is it. This is it.
Oh,
I'm Dwayne.
you're Dwayne.
Yeah.
Hi, Dwayne. We spoke on the phone. I'm Jordan Belfort. I'm the broker from Rothschild from New York.
Yes, yeah. Have a seat. How are you?
Remember, we had a
We
conversation
spoke on the phone earlier, right?
2 hours ago. So, where are your Quotrons here?
Quotrons?
Yeah, computers.
No, we don't even need computers here. We just trade right off the pink sheets here.
Pink sheets?
Yeah, they're penny stocks. Companies that can't get listed on NASDAQ, they don't have enough capital, their shares trade here.
Penny stocks?
Yeah. This one, Aerodyne, is a really interesting, Aerotyne.
Aerotyne, yeah.
Aerotyne.
Aerotyne, huh? Yeah.
Very hot stock right now.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're just a couple of brothers that are making radar detectors out of their garage.
Yeah, so let me pause it right there because what we've got already is that a guy who's been introduced to the whole Wall Street world at more or less a really, really solid, we maybe see later how solid, but a solid broker, one it's definitely like a white shoe brokerage. It's got a lot of wealthy clients, all that kind of stuff. And he has gone to look for another job. And he's found this little company that is looking for people that have some sales experience. And he's gone in and he can't believe what he's looking at because there's no data, there's no information. He's used to a place where all of the stocks are listed on the main stock exchanges, New York Stock Exchange, American, NASDAQ, right? And these guys don't need the Quotron machines that show the moment by moment real listings back in these days. And now you could get it on any computer, but in those days, what they've got are pink sheet stocks. Now, what these stocks are stocks that are the per share price is too small. It's below $1 or below $5, depending on which stock exchange you're looking at. It's too small to be sold by these larger houses, by the main street houses. And the reason that they don't take them on isn't so much that the stock's at pennies, is that the total value of the company is so small that their clients, who are predominantly pension funds, mutual funds, things like that, their clients would soak up all of the stock that there is. So the penny stocks can really only be bought by small investors. So here's this shop. They don't need fancy machines. They're just selling penny stocks to small investors, okay? So now that doesn't mean they're a bad brokerage house. There are companies that specialize in this sort of thing. Doesn't mean they're on the seamy side of the street just because they're doing penny stocks. You got to remember, right, that you take the value of the business and you divide it by the amount of shares that the board of directors has decided to issue. So if it's a small business and maybe it's selling for $10 million total price as a business, and it has 1 million shares, okay, then it's $10 a share, right? But if it has 10 million shares, then it's only $1 a share. And if it's got 100 million shares, then it's only 10 cents a share. So it's not so much about how much it is per share as the total size of the business. And a lot of these businesses are really small. They're not $10 million businesses. They might be a $500,000 business with, 5 million shares, in which case they're 10 cents a share. Now, let's see how much information we get to find out about a penny stock. All right, so here comes this broker to explain about this company that he thinks is a really interesting company to sell to his clients.
Yeah.
Very hot stock right now.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're just a couple of brothers that are making radar detectors out of their garage. They're out of Dubuque. Maybe it's microwaves. I'm not sure, but you call the company's main line. Their mom, Dorothy, answers, and she is so sweet.
Good company.
I actually don't know what else to... I don't know anything else about them other than that.
Okay, this broker can't pronounce the name of the company because he knows almost nothing about it, except that these guys are making radar detectors or maybe microwaves in their garage, and their mom is a really nice person who answers the phone. So right away we know this is a really, really funky little company, right? I mean, maybe on the level of a startup. Maybe we're talking venture capital here at best. This would be a company that in the legitimate world of investing would be appealing to somebody like me. I've done some of these kinds of investments in the past where you'd be considered an angel investor. That is somebody that's made a lot of money, they have capital available, and they feel like they can understand a very early stage business. So you would go out as an entrepreneur and you would appeal to a venture capitalist if you're looking for a lot of money, or to an angel investor if you're looking at a little money, you're looking at a fairly small company, to get capital into the business. But instead of that, this company has listed itself as a public company, probably through one of the exclusions that the SEC offers you to list with a very small amount of money, under $1 million, under $5 million. So they've listed, and they have really pretty much nothing there. This is a completely early stage venture capital type of business, okay? Type of business. That's what it is. And this guy knows very little about it. All he knows is that there's some hype around this company and the stock is going up and down a lot. That's what I mean. It's a hot stock. It's taking off. It's moving from a penny to 2 pennies, 5 pennies, right? And if you think, well, it's just pennies. No, this is doubling and doubling again and doubling again, right? Okay, here we go.
Is this stuff regulated, or are you guys, what are you doing here?
Sort of.
Sort of? Jesus Christ,
Well, sort of is not true. These are public companies. They're completely regulated, but they have a lot of slack. They often don't have to produce the accounting materials on a quarterly basis. There's a lot more slack allowed there. So he's sort of saying kind of, but no, they're as regulated in terms of requiring that you have honest financials and that you're disclosing all of the risks of the business. They're just as regulated as anybody else. But there's so many of them that the actual oversight might not be so extreme, right?
What's your name again?
Mine, Jordan Belfort.
Jordan, what do you get on a blue chip stock?
I make 1%. I did make 1%.
Pink Sheets, it's 50.
It's 50%? 50% commission?
Yep.
For what?
It's our markup for our services.
So if I sell a stock at $10,000, my commission is $5,000.
Okay, let's check this out. So when you buy a stock, you pay a commission. And back in the old days, it was about 1%. This is before there was a lot of internet out there. And the costs of commissions have come down to no longer being priced in a percentage of the total purchase that you made. So when Jordan Belfort was doing his business on Wall Street, if you bought $50,000 worth of stock, the broker got $500, pretty decent for selling a stock. But as more and more people got involved in the market in the 90s and they started taking the market online, the online competitors, first with Schwab and then E-Trade and so on, started chopping those commissions dramatically. And now I pay, 7/10 of a cent, something like that, on a per share basis. So if I bought a couple shares of Apple at $100 or whatever it's going for right now, that would cost me a couple of cents, right? So now you have to be, it just doesn't make any sense to be selling penny stocks, right? Because you wouldn't make any money. Well, what these guys do, instead of taking a sort of a commission, is they do a spread and they become the market. Instead of NASDAQ being the market or American Stock Exchange or New York Exchange being the market where they have market makers, the brokers are the market. So the broker puts out a bid and an ask. So he'll buy at the low price and he'll sell at the high price. And what Jordan Belfort is just finding out here is that these guys open the spread up by 50%. So if they could buy the stock for $1, they're going to sell it for $1.50. All right. So if they buy the stock for 50 cents, they're going to sell it for 75. They're making a 50% markup, or whatever that 50% markup is, right? Whatever the right number is there. They're going to make that as a commission. So this markup, they no longer look at it as a percentage basis of terms of the total dollars that you're doing. They're just looking at it by being the market maker. And he's saying, well, how do you get that giant number? And he says, well, it's for the services that we provide, which is legit. That's true. They're actually providing a service of selling a stock or buying a stock in a really thinly traded market, very, very illiquid market. So if you want to buy, they're the guys that name the price. And if you want to sell, they're the guys that name the price. And often it's just that one shop is the shop that's handling those particular pink sheet stocks. So this look on Leonardo DiCaprio's face is very appropriate. He's just realizing, ding, if I can sell these things, I can make a fortune. Now watch what happens next.
You mailed in my company a postcard a few weeks back requesting information on penny stocks that had huge upside potential with very little downside risk. Does that ring a bell?
Oh, yeah, I may have sent some.
Okay, great. Well, reason for the call today, John, is something just came across my desk, John. It is perhaps the best thing I've seen in the last 6 months. If you have 60 seconds, I'd like to share the idea with you. You got a minute?
Actually, I'm really very busy.
Name of the company, Aerotine International. It is a cutting-edge, high-tech firm out of the Midwest awaiting imminent patent approval on a next generation.
Now watch, what you're watching here is what Jordan Belfort brought to the penny stock market. What he brought was an incredibly aggressive, like completely making up stories about stocks. Not all of them, but some of them. And he's giving a little demonstration of that here to everybody in the room and to all the people watching the movie about how you can take somebody that's making, I don't know, some radars, or maybe it's microwaves in their garage and turn it into the next hottest thing ever if you're a really good sales guy.
Next generation of radar detectors that have both huge military and civilian applications. Now, right now, John, the stock trades over the counter at 10 cents a share. And by the way, John, our analysts indicate it could go a heck of a lot higher than that. Your profit on a mere $6,000 investment would be upwards of $60,000.
Jesus, that's my mortgage, man.
Exactly, you could pay off your mortgage.
This stock will pay off my house.
John, one thing I can promise you, even in this market, is that I never ask my clients to judge me on my winners. I ask them to judge me on my losers because I have so few. And in the case of Aerotine, based on every technical factor out there, John, we are looking at a grand slam home run.
Okay, let's do it. I'll do $4,000.
4,000, that'd be 40,000 shares, John. Let me lock in that trade right now and get back to you with my secretary with an exact confirmation. Sound good, John?
Sounds good.
Great. Hey, John, thank you for your vote of confidence and welcome to the Investors Center.
Now, what you just saw there was DiCaprio, or Jordan Belfort, basically taking this guy through a sales process where he builds this enormous upside potential here, and then he says the words that allow him to get away with it. And this is classically brilliant, actually, if you don't have any ethics whatsoever, is that he shifts it from, this has got this huge upside, right? He doesn't actually say number, just this huge upside in terms of military and civilian application. Like, who knows, right? I mean, a couple guys in a garage, but it's a beautiful big just pure blue sky up there. All right. And then he says these words that allow him to go home and sleep at night. And that is, every technical indication is that this is going through the roof. Okay. Now, technical indicators work just as well on 10-cent stocks, or just as badly as they do on $10 stocks or $100 stocks. In other words, technical indicators, they don't have a conscience and they don't care. They're just looking at the data. And the data, the movement of a stock price that's going from 10 cents to 15 cents is going to look like a $100 stock going to 150. And it becomes, you can apply the same technical indicators. You can apply MACDs, RSIs, Bollinger Bands. You can apply all this stuff to it, and you can create a legitimate technical story. I doubt that Belfort actually bothered at that point, but maybe he did. But you can create a legitimate technical trading story that says this thing is going to the roof. It's really just a rocket ride. Now, what they're not telling you, and what he doesn't tell you, is that rocket ride of a technical stock really taking off. It's breaking through technical barriers. And you can listen to these guys talk about this on Jim Cramer's show, right? I mean, this is not dark science. This is something they talk about on Wall Street. CNBC, they have technical traders come out all the time. What they don't tell you here is that this brokerage firm is the only brokerage firm that's handling this stock at all. And the rocket ride is being created right there in the firm by them selling this stock. It's so thinly traded that when this guy comes in and buys 40,000 shares, right? $4,000. It wouldn't be a rounding error on most Wall Street firms. 40,000 shares, $4,000, that stock's going to move. It's going to move up. It's going to be 11, 12, 13 cents. And a couple of things happen. First, it reinforces the technical story that this guy's telling, so that all the rest of the brokers there in this firm can also now tell this technical story. This thing is a rocket ride. This thing is breaking through all these levels. I can show you the charts. You want to see charts? Here come charts, right? Not only that, but it's absolutely making the guy who bought the stock into a true believer. He's going to tell his friends, man, I'm hooked up with this guy, Jordan Belfort. He put me into this stock. It's up 30% in 4 days, man. And his friends are going to be, what? Oh, that's ridiculous. And then 2 weeks later, dude, you should have bought in. It's up, I got in at 10. It's at 32. If you don't have a broad picture of what's really going on there, you can really be sucked in. It is so attractive, that idea that you're going to make all this money because you're in on an early stage. And these guys are just driving the price. And I've done it myself, you guys. I'm not brokered like that, but I've gone in and bought a stock, and it wasn't a radar detector. It was actually on an automobile. It was a company that's early stage, creating basically GPS positioners that they would put on rental fleets before they got to be widely used. This is years ago. And I came into this stock, I think it was 13 cents when I came into it. And I bought, $10,000 worth or something. And I drove that stock right up to 80 cents. And I knew I was doing it. And I was doing it with another friend of mine who was, buying in as well. And together, the two of us, we kept trying to buy it, and it just kept jumping up. And if you ever want to see what it feels like to be a hedge fund manager with a lot of money, a couple $1 billion, or somebody running a big institutional fund trying to buy into a position, you can see really quickly how it might take 8 weeks before you could fully get a position without dramatically moving the stock around, and how long it would take you to get out without cratering the stock, because it eventually just, other people saw that movement and started buying in on the momentum, which is what happens on Wall Street. Everybody just doesn't know anything. And they truly believe that all stocks are priced at their value. So if it's gone up from 13 cents to 83 cents, it must be worth 83 cents. So wow, look at where it's going. It must be worth it for a reason. So I'm going to get in. And now the stock's at $1.32. I decided to take my profit. I start selling. I drove that thing right down to about 20 cents when I tried to get out. So this is kind of the, the structure that goes on these little boiler room brokers. And it might help you to know that this is out there. If you ever get a phone call from somebody saying, hey, check this out, it's taken off like a rocket. number one, you will know you're probably looking at technical trading, which doesn't mean anything. It's like looking at clouds and calling them trains or bunnies. And then you also understand that you don't know anything about the company, this rocketing company that's just a couple guys in a garage, right? Sounds like Steve Jobs and Wozniak or something. And it's a couple guys in a garage trying to make a radar detector. And you don't know that. It just feels like it's the next great thing. You really don't want to play this game, even with your risky biz portfolio. Even as a venture capitalist, they would never put a penny into something like that without digging deep into what's going on with the company, and neither should you. All right, you guys, now I'd love to hear from you. You had to listen to me, so let's hear it. Are there any other movies that I should cover in the future videos? Love to hear your comments on this one and what your answer is, and I'll be sure to follow up with you, and thanks for watching, you guys. Now go play. You guys, if you enjoyed this video and you feel it was valuable in teaching you more about what's actually going on during the Wolf of Wall Street movie, hit the like button and please share this video with your friends. And if you want more investing content, subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to click the button on the screen for a free gift, okay? So thanks again for watching.